For decades, the American hunter was fed a seductive lie. The industry convinced you that a shoulder-breaking Magnum cannon was the only way to guarantee a clean takedown. But a flinching shooter pulling the trigger on a massive payload is a liability in the deep timber. Raw power is a poor excuse for a lack of surgical precision. Today, we shatter the Magnum Illusion. We are counting down the top 7 standard hunting calibers that actually dominate the North American continent with cold, calculated efficiency. Before we breach the list, hit that like button and subscribe right now to help us lock in our first major milestone of 1,000 subscribers. Coming in at number 7 is the .243 Winchester. Often considered the ultimate gateway into the world of hunting, this cartridge was born from the legendary .308 Winchester lineage. Engineers achieved a mechanical marvel by necking down that parent case to accept a smaller 6mm projectile. The resulting terminal ballistics created a hunting platform that practically eliminated rearward force. It produces a mere 8 foot-pounds of free recoil energy, allowing the shooter to maintain a flawless sight picture through the glass even after the firing pin drops. It is the surgical assassin of the open fields. Firing light projectiles at a scorching 3,200 feet per second, the .243 Winchester acts like a pure laser beam, slicing through the wind to deliver immediate hydrostatic shock on medium game. For taking down a white-tailed deer or neutralizing coyotes at a distance, its surgical precision is unmatched. However, every tool has its physical limits. The deal breaker for this lightning-fast cartridge is its severe lack of deep penetration on massive, thick-skinned targets. Because the bullet mass is so light, it simply does not carry enough kinetic energy to confidently punch through the heavy shoulder bones of a mature bull elk. If you take this into heavy timber against big game, you are asking for a tactical failure. For its intended purpose, though, it remains a masterclass in low recoil efficiency. You can expect to pay around $1.50 per round. Coming in at number 6 is the .280 Ackley Improved. Parker Otto Ackley was a historical genius in the realm of firearms modification, and this cartridge stands as his absolute masterpiece. Originally designed as a wildcat cartridge, Ackley pushed the shoulder of the standard .280 Remington case out to a steep 40-degree angle. This brilliant mechanic not only maximizes powder capacity, but virtually eliminates unwanted brass stretching. It is the beltless usurper. It steps onto the battlefield and mathematically reproduces the devastating terminal performance of the notorious 7mm Remington Magnum. But it does so with less powder, a much smoother recoil impulse of 18 foot-pounds, and significantly less wear on your barrel. It delivers massive kinetic energy without destroying the shoulder of the man wielding it. However, the deal breaker for this magnificent piece of engineering lies in its logistics. Despite gaining mainstream recognition, it remains somewhat of a boutique cartridge. If you find yourself in a rural hunting lodge or a remote gas station high in the Rockies, finding factory-loaded ammunition on the shelf is going to be incredibly difficult compared to mainstream calibers. You are paying a premium for that efficiency, with factory rounds costing around $3 each. Coming in at number 5 is the 7mm .08 Remington. If the ballistic industry had to forge one single cartridge that represents the absolute perfection of balance, this is the Undisputed King. Built on a brilliantly simple mechanical principle, engineers took the legendary short-action casing of the .308 Winchester and necked it down to accept a highly aerodynamic 7mm projectile. This mechanical insight allows the shooter to utilize a highly rigid, lightweight, and compact rifle frame while launching a heavy caliber bullet that slices through harsh crosswinds with extreme efficiency. It is a violent ballet on the mountainside. Firing a 140-grain bullet, this cartridge delivers a massive payload of kinetic energy at 400 yards while only generating 13.5 foot-pounds of rearward force. The recoil is smooth like silk, allowing you to seamlessly manage your natural body mechanics and stay locked on your target through the scope. However, the deal breaker for this magnificent piece of engineering has nothing to do with its battlefield performance, but rather its public perception. It is constantly overshadowed by the massive, flashy marketing campaigns of newer precision cartridges. Shooters often overlook this proven mountain rifle setup simply because it lacks the modern hype of the latest media darlings, leaving it underappreciated by the modern masses. For hunters who value surgical precision over advertising trends, this is a masterclass in tactical balance. You can expect to pay around $2 per round. Coming in at number 4 is the 270 Winchester. Developed in 1925, this cartridge is an immortal monument tied to the legendary outdoorsman Jack O'Connor. For decades, it stood as the default answer for anyone seeking a weapon with a laser-flat trajectory to conquer the wide-open spaces of the western plains and high mountain ridges. Engineers achieved this mechanical dominance by taking the massive powder column of the 30-06 case and necking it down to fire a .277 caliber projectile. This specific geometry pushes a 130-grain bullet past the 3,000 feet per second barrier. It is a terrifying storm of hydrostatic shock. When it impacts medium-sized game like a pronghorn or white-tail at those blistering speeds, the pressure wave drops the animal instantly in its tracks, striking with the blunt force of a sledgehammer. The recoil is notably sharper than the 7mm calibers, providing a solid, undeniable kick to the shoulder that demands a firm shooting stance. However, the deal breaker for this historic flat shooter is its terminal performance with traditional ammunition at close range. Because the velocity is so extreme, older cup and core bullets have a notorious tendency to fragment violently upon impact in the heavy shoulder bones of a bull elk, destroying massive amounts of meat without achieving the deep penetration required for a clean takedown. To fix this, hunters are forced to rely on highly expensive monolithic copper projectiles. You can expect to pay around $1.80 per round. Coming in at number 3 is the 6.5 Creedmoor. Born from the grueling world of 1,000-yard precision rifle competitions, this 21st century prodigy completely changed the tactical mindset of the modern hunter. It proved that retained velocity downrange is far more lethal than raw speed at the muzzle. The mechanical genius of this cartridge lies in its short case design, paired with a fast barrel twist rate. This allows the shooter to seat extremely long, heavy caliber projectiles with massive ballistic coefficients without eating into the powder capacity inside the brass. It acts like a ghost slipping through the wind. Because it cuts through the air with such aerodynamic perfection, it completely ignores complex crosswinds while delivering a recoil impulse as light as a feather, generating a mere 12 to 13.1 foot-pounds of rearward force. However, the deal breaker for this modern marvel is the harsh reality of its internal ballistics. To achieve that flat trajectory, the high-pressure powder column brutally scorches the throat of the barrel. You are trading longevity for performance, as a standard barrel will often lose its surgical precision after only 2,000 rounds, burning out significantly faster than older military platforms. You can expect to pay around $1.50 per round. Coming in at number 2 is the 308 Winchester. Forged in the fires of the mid-20th century, this cartridge carries the undeniable military DNA of the legendary 7.62 by 51 NATO. It is the absolute trench veteran of the hunting world, built specifically to dominate dense timber engagements and brush country under 300 yards. The mechanical genius of this platform lies in its brutal efficiency. Engineers designed a short-action casing that burns significantly less gunpowder than its heavy Magnum predecessors, while still delivering massive terminal performance on large targets. It operates like an immortal mechanical engine, boasting the highest efficiency of converting heat into sheer kinetic energy. Because the internal chamber pressure is so perfectly balanced, it generates a highly manageable 18 foot-pounds of free recoil, while allowing the steel barrel to survive an astonishing 5,000 rounds of continuous fire before losing its surgical accuracy. However, the deal breaker for this globally recognized platform is its physical trajectory in open airspace. Unlike the modern precision cartridges of the 21st century, the 308 Winchester has the flight path of a rainbow. Once that heavy projectile crosses the 300-yard mark, gravity takes a heavy toll and the bullet drops dramatically. Taking a long-distance shot requires the shooter to have an absolute mastery of holdover calculations and optical adjustments, leaving zero room for lazy ballistic math. It remains a flawless workhorse for the dedicated marksman. You can expect to pay around $1 per round. Coming in at the absolute pinnacle, taking the number 1 spot on our list, is the 3006 Springfield. Forged in the fires of military necessity and officially adopted by the United States Armed Forces in 1906, this cartridge has fought through the most brutal global conflicts of the 20th century. It was carried by the greatest generation across war-torn landscapes. After serving its country with absolute distinction, it returned home to conquer a different battlefield, firmly establishing itself as the undisputed immortal monarch of the North American wilderness. The sheer brilliance of the 3006 lies not in achieving the fastest velocity or the lightest recoil, but in a mechanical versatility that remains completely unmatched in the entire history of ballistic engineering. The secret to its absolute tactical dominance is its long-action receiver design, combined with the massive internal volume of its brass casing. This perfect mechanical geometry allows the shooter to utilize an incredibly wide spectrum of bullet weights, transforming one single rifle into a dynamic multi-purpose weapon system. You can load a light 125-grain projectile to efficiently neutralize coyotes and white-tailed deer, or you can step up to the standard 165-grain bullet for a laser-flat trajectory across the open plains. But when you need to face down the most dangerous heavy targets on the continent, the 3006 truly unleashes its power. It has the internal capacity to push a massive 180-grain solid copper chunk of destruction at a blistering speed of 2,700 feet per second. It acts like a versatile monster roaring with authority as it delivers a crushing wave of kinetic energy, capable of punching straight through the heavy shoulder bones of an Alaskan moose, ensuring a clean, ethical takedown from a safe, tactical distance. Firing this heavy ordnance does produce a stout 20 to 22 foot-pounds of free recoil, demanding that the shooter firmly control the muzzle rise, but it completely avoids the violent, punishing shockwave of the modern Magnums. You can find this legendary ammunition in any rural hardware store across the entire United States, making it the ultimate survival tool for the one rifle hunter. You can expect to pay around $1.50 per round. The era of the Magnum Illusion is finally over. We have proven that true kinetic dominance on the North American continent does not come from a massive amount of gunpowder or a shoulder-breaking shockwave. It comes from the cold, calculated science of terminal ballistics and the surgical discipline of a shooter who is not afraid of their own rifle. These 7 standard calibers have survived the grueling tests of military combat and the unforgiving high mountain elements because they offer the perfect balance of aerodynamic efficiency and manageable recoil. They allow you to place the copper exactly where it needs to go every single time. Stop relying on raw artillery to compensate for bad marksmanship. Master the mechanics, respect the math, and choose a weapon that works with your natural body mechanics, not against them. If you want to survive the true American wilderness and master the absolute art of the rifle, you need to stay locked in with us. Hit that subscribe button right now, keep your powder dry, and stay dangerous.